All right, improving your response. So how can we make it better? So you've got a basic one. Let's punch it up a bit. So keeping in mind, everything you do in a Section C essay exists in a chunk. So you could like chuck some post-its on a wall, you could draw it up, you could visualize it, you could draw shapes, paint colors, whatever you want to do, but you're going to have a bank of chunks. These chunks, they have examples, they have meta language, including IPA and manner / place of articulation. So like if you're talking rhoticity, you might want to talk about the rolled R, flapping, these kind of things. You might want to talk about, I mean, you probably don't just want to be saying like, you know, that it's, I don't know, biolabiodental. That's probably not that relevant, but you want to be specifically expressing how the phonological features that you're talking about are different to standard Australian English. And linguist quotes. So again, you want all these to sort of click together relatively easily, and then your job is to tailor the things that happen above and in between the example to make it relevant to what you're talking about. So interestingly, one of the examiners' reports commented on phrasing. So obviously this is very useful for us. So you're going to write down these kind of phrases and think of what other phrases you can do to serve a similar purpose. So we've got always enriched, greater influence over, and mainly. So it's almost a question of modality. You want to be thinking, you know, what kind of phrases can you use to show the impact or the influence of the language that you're talking about. Things like, you could say, jargon is always enriched by the social experience of XYZ, or standard Australian English has greater influence over the way that people speak than, etc., etc. So we might even develop a bank of phrases that we really think are good to kind of connect and join our essay, and to make sure that we're sort of being analytical when we write, rather than just saying, here's what happened, here's an example. We're actually going deeper and trying to make broader ideas around Australian identity and Australian English and English more broadly. What's the point of all the things that we're saying is the tricky part. So, a significant number of students in 2018 wrote about the social aspects of a topic, but not enough about its linguistic aspects. So this is kind of, the first time you write a Section C essay, this is what you'll be doing. You'll just be saying, hey, I think this, and we all know that, and society this and society that. And then your job is to take that kernel of an idea, that writing that you've done, that is you starting to grapple with the issues of the course, and provide examples to back that up, to prove it, to illustrate it, to explore it, to describe it, to be a linguist about it. So, and then one of the study designs, one of the examiner's reports, pardon me, said basically something that I think is a real tension for you as students. So the easy part is to think of like, okay, I've got a really good example about trans people in inner city Chelsea, or you know, a very specific place. I know this very small subset, this really interesting part of the internet where they speak in this way and they write in this way. But the much more important part, to be honest, is to have the dominant group. Like you know, you can't just be saying, yeah, multiculturalism is important, but neglect to have examples prepared for the dominant group, for Australian English, for standard English, for politicians, for the language of the media. You need examples for that as well. While some of the alternatives, the niche, small examples that you're looking at are maybe more interesting and more exciting to find, and you really feel like, oh, I've struck gold here, you know, sit down and watch some mainstream media for 20 minutes a day or something, just to get that broad bank of examples. And I guess that's the hard part. Being an English language student means before the exam, you're not just sitting there writing out formulas or revising the kind of elemental table, the table of elements rather. You need to be reading, watching, doing things, so you can non-self-consciously sit there, scroll through TikTok, Instagram, social media, Snapchat people, because that is the examples that you can put in an essay. So, you know, if your teacher's on your back, say, oh, I'm working on my language journal for English language. So what you want to, these should be the easy things. You're looking for politicians, political examples, racist attitudes, advertising, mainstream television, radio, print media, billboards, stuff that everyone would know. easy examples that any examiner, any normal person would go, oh yeah, I heard of that, or oh yeah, I know that TV show. Yeah. Good, got it. That's the dominant group. That's the kind of thing you still need examples for.